I find stress a very difficult problem. And I find it a problem because we all need stress in order to move on in our lives. That's in the society we live in, stress is one of the things that helps us perform. So we need stress. And there's a curve called the stress performance curve. The more stress you have, the better you perform, until you get to a certain level of stress where more stress, no increased performance. So it goes like this, sort of, this is your level of stress, this is your level of performance, and it goes like this, and then it plateaus. What a lot of people don't tell you is if you keep on increasing your stress, then it goes like that. So stress for a while is good, then it stops being particularly useful to improve performance, then any extra stress causes problems. So we get confused about stress. Stress is useful. Stress has always been how society has moved on. Stress has been why we've tried to improve as a group, but too much stress causes significant problems. And this is why I get confused about stress. But stress, with regards to psychosis, is very clearly a problem in many different ways. There's some evidence that shows that stress during pregnancy increases the chance of the child developing schizophrenia later. Now, this has to be really severe stress, so a partner losing their job, and the first work that was done on the Nazi invasion of the Netherlands during the Second World War. And they found that if you were in utero at the time, if you were a baby in the womb, you had an increased chance of developing schizophrenia later on. So that sort of stress is important. We also know that stress during childhood seems to be important in you developing vulnerabilities to develop schizophrenia when you're later in life. Now, you understand that you need stress to develop. The problem is how much stress. Too much stress and you have a problem, not enough stress, and then you don't move forward. That's why I talked about the stress performance curve before. So stress and social adversity during childhood seem to be important. And then social stress in your teenage years seems to be the thing that can spark schizophrenia. And the interesting thing there is people are always looking for something big. They're looking for some big event. But it seems like in teenage years it's not big events. It's small, everyday hassles that seem to build up and increase your chance of developing a psychosis later on if you're vulnerable to start off with. So stress is complex. Stress works in different ways at different times in your life, and different types of stress seem to be important for you developing psychosis. But we cannot avoid stress. The question that we have, and the question that people are working on, is how we can become more resilient to stress so that it doesn't have the negative effects, and so that we don't get to that part where we fall off the curve.